Hello everyone, I'm Brett, and this is Nightwood Guns. Alright, so, as I was getting ready to send the Sig P938 back to Sig, I decided to take one more look at it, and I racked the slide a couple of times, and then boom, the hammer fell. And I was like, well that's interesting. And then upon further testing, the hammer and the trigger was back to normal. The gun was functioning as it should. But I noticed the slide was still getting stuck. So after taking it apart and looking it over, I discovered exactly what the problem was, and it all boils down to this little piece right here, the disconnect. I noticed that I saw some gunk on either side of the disconnect, so I removed the grip, and voila. Look at how nasty that is. It is gunk city. It's like nuclear waste found its way into that little crack. So all of this gunk in here, all the orange stuff, the yellow stuff, that's a combination of oil, sweat, lint, and dirt. All things that a carry gun typically sees. Now, all of this would have been preventable with a little more maintenance to the firearm. When you clean it, take the grip off, and make sure you clean the disconnect very thoroughly. Get all the dirt, lint, grime, sweat off of that. Because here's what happened. As you'll notice, when we try to put the slide back on, it gets stuck. And the gunk is broken loose a little bit now, so it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. But what happened was, okay, it is still pretty bad. What happened was, it was so sweaty and dirty and grimy that the disconnect was stuck in the up position, which in turn was forcing the gun to remain closed because it was putting pressure on the slide. Now when I banged it loose, what happened was it actually got stuck in the down position like that. Now as you'll notice, that moves the trigger bar, which is right here, and when it got stuck down there, it moved the trigger bar down, so when you pull the trigger, it's not hitting the sear, or whatever that is. And when I racked it really hard, when I was preparing to send it off to Sig, it knocked that back up so that it could function the way it was supposed to. I mean, if you think about it, if you're right-handed and you carry inside the waistband, this is the side of the gun that is up against your skin when you're sweating, when you're shedding dead skin cells. That's the place where lint gets. And it just finds its way into that little, crevice, and dirt and dead skin cells tend to stick to lubricant. So if you're lubricating that part, it's just sticking right to that. And as you can see, it's been a while since I got in there and cleaned that. And that's mostly because it's my carry gun. Take it to the range, shoot a couple of mags through it, come home, give it a quick once-over, and throw it back in my holster. So just realize that if this is the firearm that you choose as your everyday carry concealed firearm, that it's going to take just a little more maintenance. When you clean it, you're going to have to take the grip off, and you're going to have to get in there and clean that all up, lubricate it, and you're going to have to keep an eye on it, because it can cause a critical malfunction with your firearm. Now, by no means is this a bad firearm or necessarily a bad design. It's just something to be aware of and something to know that you're just going to have to maintain that area. And I'm sure a lot of you already knew this, and honestly, I should have known it as well. I have gotten in there and cleaned it a couple of times, but not recently, and that's what can happen. And my other concern would be, imagine that time that you need to defend your life, you find yourself in the mud, or the gun gets knocked out of your hand and falls into some tar, and it gets in that exposed crevice, and it gunks up that disconnect. I mean, all of a sudden you're looking at a pretty big problem right there. Well, anyways, the lesson that I learned from this is when you're cleaning your 938, take the time to get the Allen screwdriver out, take those screws out, take your grip off, and just clean that part and lubricate it like there's no tomorrow, and regularly keep an eye on it and maintain it, because all that grime and gunk got stuck in there because of the lubrication. The dead skin cells, the sweat, the dirt, the lint, it just all gets attracted to whatever oil, grease, lubricant that you're using, and it just collects over time. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something from this. I know I did. And if you have a 938, make sure you just keep that part well lubricated and well cleaned and well maintained, and you shouldn't have any problems with it. I'm Brett, this is Nightwood Guns. Thanks for watching.